Okay, I want to welcome our viewers to a podcast today. We have a local person that's doing business in Overture that has an established business, and Angela's going to share a few things with us, and we'll let you understand a little bit more about the business that she's in. So, Angela, tell us who you are and who you serve.
Yes. Well, I am Angela, as you mentioned. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
And having me on your platform.
Absolutely.
But I am Angela. I'm the founder of Yahweh Spa and Wellness. And we are a wellness center, and we promote healthy lifestyle as well as facial, skincare. We're a complete spa-like treatment as well as hair. And so we do a full service of everything. And we are a growing business. We've been in the Kennesaw area now for about 1 year, and we are satisfied with the clients that we have, and we, like I said, we're growing.
Yep.
And so that's who I am. I'm Yahweh.
Okay.
That's the name of my
Awesome.
spot.
Well, you have an impressive web presence. I will say that because I usually check it out a little bit before a podcast, and it's beautiful. So, how did you get into business? What was the reason for you for getting in the business that you're in?
Well, I went to school. First of all, I went through a divorce 13 years ago, almost 13 years ago. And when I went through my divorce, I decided I was going to move to Florida with my children at that time. And I decided to go back to school. I think I wanted to take another course, to further educate myself in whatever career I was trying to go in at that time. And I decided I was going to go into cosmetology as well as the business side. I've always had a business. I've been a business owner practically all my life. Owning a children's learning center, a construction company, and I also have a coaching business that I coach, and I created curriculum that is digital as well. So I decided that after my divorce, I was going to go back to school to get another degree. And I did, and I decided to go back to Florida, University of Florida, to get a degree in cosmetology along with business. And I graduated at the top of my class. And so my motivation behind all of that was, I would say, my divorce was the catalyst that led me to go back to school. And I did it for my children. My children I was their only life, support, their livelihood. And I did it for them. I did it to show them that no matter what you go through in life, you can always bounce back. You can always come back from whatever situation or circumstance that you find yourself in. I believe that life, gives us lemonade or lemons, and it's left up to us to determine what we're going to make from that. We can either make a lemon pie or lemon custard or lemonade, but it's your choice. And so I made the choice to go back to school to educate myself, to better position myself for my family so that I can support my family in a much better way as far as mentally, financially, and just be better stable. And that's what I did. And I don't regret that experience with my ex-husband because it has brought me to where I am now.
I tell you, I'd love to dig into that a little later, but we want to just kind of know how you're serving. And I know the residents are excited about having somebody with your background to be able to take care of them, because a lot of people don't have cars and they have to do walking distance or right here in the building. So tell us, when you started your business, what was the biggest challenge that you faced when you're kind of launching it? Because entrepreneurs are what drive everything, but share with our viewers your biggest challenge.
Well, I would say the biggest challenge is visibility. Getting your word, the name of your business out there so that people can know you and what you offer. And because the market is saturated in everything. So your business needs to stick out. So you have to find not only your niche, but how can I make my business be shoulders above the rest? So where customers will want to come to me. So that was one of the hardest things that I had to do to make my business stand out. And I did that based off the different things that I offer my customers when they come. And the service that I provide is, upscale luxury. And so I did that. I make sure that my clientele felt a certain way when they came in, and then when they left out, they were in a much better place than they were when they walked through my doors. So visibility, I would say, will be probably the number one thing.
That's funny you say that, because Bartina schedules, and I met her years ago when her and her husband, who has passed away at this time, started a chocolate company in Ackworth. And they thought, okay, I just open it up, now they'll come. But they don't come unless you do what you're just saying. You got to be visible. You have to do a lot of things. What would you tell our viewers that are starting a business? What have you done that you've really said, man, this works really well?
Yeah.
Is there one strategy you can share with our viewers?
Well, as far as marketing,
or business,
and
just general business.
Well, marketing is one of those things that I
Okay.
did, and then branding. Make sure that my brand was trademarked, and I think that's the number one thing that I would tell anybody before you even start out and start really like promoting your brand, your name. Get it patent and trademark to secure your family. That's what I did, and then from there, I started giving clients at a very low price, and gave them a discount initially in order to win their service and win their trust.
Right.
And once I did that, people began to tell other people about me, my service, because I typically go above and beyond my customers. When they get treated, when they come in my room and they're on my table, the quality of service that they're getting, I make sure that they know that this is luxury and upscale and that they're pampered, they're taken care of. And so I would say that, the branding and the marketing, make sure you have that part up to par when it comes to your business, and go from there.
Yeah, and we'll put in the show notes links to your website, your business, and anything for our viewers to be able to find you easily. So just rest assured that it'll be easy for people just to go down and just click on yours. So tell us, like, in this building, what are you planning on? A number of days, hours? How are you going to structure that to serve the residents?
Well, I'm planning on being here every day, from 9 to 7. So, and then on Thursdays in the evening time from 5 to 7, because I have other clients that I see. And so every day of the week, I have my own clients outside of the residents that are here that I see on a regular basis.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I plan on, those are my hours, because, I'm a full established business outside of Overture. And so in order to keep my own clientele, I have to make sure that my hours are accommodating for them as well. So
That's
the services
wise.
that I provide here in Overture, which is massage, they get a body massage, you get full body wraps if they want that. They get facials, treatments of all kinds, such as micro needling, dermabrasion, nano needling, basic facials, hydrofacials. They also can get chemical peels. Then we also provide hair services, basic haircuts, trim, highlights, full service wigs. We do installation of wigs as well as sister locks. So we provide all of those things. My future goal is to be able to have the foot baths where you can soak your feet and remove the toxins from your body. That is something that I'm going to be incorporating probably around the first of the year, and see how that works out. So.
Well, people like to be pampered, I will tell you that. And as you get a little older, you appreciate pampering a tad more than you did when you were younger. So I think you'll be well received. My challenge that I see, because I've been here about 8 months, is there's only, let's say, 150 residents. And that's not enough residents to support a business. So I'm glad that you're able to pull in existing and complement it, because if you don't, you have a lot of turnover. Because if you don't make money, you're not going to be here.
Right.
It's as simple as that. And so everybody's got to cover the amount of overhead that they have. Why don't you, so when you're not working, share with our viewers, what do you like to do?
Well, when I'm not working, as far as like pleasure-wise, enjoyment, I like reading, traveling, sometimes just spending time at home, potting my flowers, repotting my flowers and just relaxing and meditating. I do also do coaching. I'm a business coach,
Okay.
as well as a self-awareness coach. So I enjoy doing that as well.
Well, that complements your business, obviously, to be able to have that, because you know how hard it is for entrepreneurs and business owners.
Yes.
There's so many ways that they can get the business, the name out there. And, you know, I'm a marketer, and you understand marketing because you have an absolutely wonderful website, is 50% of marketing works and 50% doesn't. If you spend too much time in the 50% that doesn't, you're not going to be around very long. So you have to figure out what works as quickly as possible and then put the focus on the successful principles. So when you first, the day, so it's been a 13-year journey since your divorce.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point did you feel that you hit your stride, you got momentum in your business? Was there a time frame so people can understand it doesn't happen overnight?
Right. It doesn't happen overnight. There are a lot of detours, bumps in the road. Sometimes you have to take it, crumble it up, and start all over, and brainstorm, and then come back to the table again and figure it out all over again. I don't know if I can say I've hit my stride. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going with the flow.
Gotcha.
And I'm flowing, and I think right now I'm in a. Maybe I could say now I'm just now hitting the stride.
Right.
In it, I know it takes time. Anything takes time. Anything that's worth having and that's successful, it takes time to build that. That saying that says Rome was not built overnight. It takes time in order for you really to get your feet planted in the ground, and like a seed planted in the soil, in order for it to come back up. So that takes time and germination and all those of watering and nurturing, all those different things. And that's what I've really been doing. I've been watering, cultivating, pulling out the weeds. That's what, breaking it down and starting all over. And so now I think I have this blueprint that can be duplicated if someone wanted to take it and duplicated it somewhere else.
That the idea that you do coaching too rocks my world, because I'm a firm believer everybody needs coaches, because it's just it's essential to get rid of those blind spots. What did you see when you incorporated coaching into your business? What was one of the blind spots that kind of hit you and ooh, I didn't see that coming?
I would say a blind spot for me in business was I guess getting into an area, not knowing whether or not the people would receive what I had to offer. I automatically thought, well, yeah, they want to receive, because everybody wants to get facials.
Right.
Everybody wants to get treatment, services done, but not everybody does. And if they do, they already have someone that they've been going to for a long time, and they're not willing to come, leave that person and come to you. So that was like a blind spot for me, because even though I offer things that probably no one else here in this area offers, even with that, they still will stick with what they're comfortable with versus coming to me. So that was like a blind. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, okay, well, you offer this service and people will automatically want to come, to your business in order to get the service and or product that you are selling. So I would say that would be one of the blind spots for me, if I could say I had a blind spot. Yeah,
that's so good. I want to share with our listeners a thought that I think is important, because I met Angela last night, and when I was introduced to her by Sarita, we talked for a minute or two, and I mentioned podcasts, and she literally booked it the next day. Now, plenty of people talk about it, but they don't take action. The fact that you didn't hesitate tells me you're a decisive person.
Yeah.
Do you find that has translated into your business success?
Yes.
Good. So how do you evaluate things? Because, in today's world, we're getting so much stuff being thrown at us. What's your filter like? Do you look for anything in particular that stands out, or How are you so decisive? I guess I wanted to ask.
Well, because I practice self-awareness.
Okay.
And me knowing myself helps me to make the decisions that I can see along my journey.
Wow.
And if I don't see it,
Yeah.
then I don't do it. And that's even when it comes to traveling. If I don't see myself there, I don't go.
Right.
If I don't see myself there and back home, I don't take that trip.
Right.
So if I can see what you offered me, an opportunity to come on your podcast, because I've done podcasts. I had a #1 podcast. I was number 10 in the country in like Europe for my podcast. So that's familiar to me. That's me. I've done that before.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm very self-aware of who I am. And I don't believe in coincidences. Things just don't happen. Everything is divinely, I believe, divinely orchestrated, by a higher power, whatever you want to call that power.
I agree.
And so you asking me this, I felt there was an opportunity for me to get the word out about who I was. And I just, if it doesn't fit, I know what fits, what resonates with me.
Right.
And if it didn't resonate with me, I wouldn't do it. And that's how I use. That's like my inner compass.
Gotcha.
If I can use that for the lack of a better word, my inner compass. If it doesn't feel like it's for me, and if it doesn't resonate with me, I don't participate. And I felt like this was something that I should take up the opportunity, because sometimes opportunity may only come knocking once.
Right.
And if you don't open the door, you missed out.
Yeah.
And it could be 10 years for that opportunity to come back around again. And I have just made my own determination that I'm going to take every opportunity that's given to me, because I don't know who's listening to this. I don't know you. We just met. I mean, I met you yesterday, as you just said to the listeners. Met you yesterday. We had a brief conversation about the podcast, and that was pretty much basically it. And here we are now sitting doing this. I don't know who's connected to you, and I believe that we're one person away from knowing everybody around the entire world. That's what I believe. So I take the opportunities as they're given to me, because I know what I want.
Yes.
And I know what
I tell you what, Angela, you're singing my music, and I love it. My partner often says what you're just describing, and so the self-awareness is so critical in business.
It is.
And I think without it, we're blinded by certain things. Why don't you share with our listeners? I will have you back to talk about your coaching, because I'm really intrigued by that. Tell us, like, what book are you reading, or can you share with our listeners a good book that you found value in?
Sure. Wayne Dyer.
Yep,
Dyer.
I know that. Yep.
I've read a lot of his books.
Yep.
But I'm also an author. I've written 7 books of myself.
Whoa!
And I've created 6 curriculums through my self-awareness course. And I've been featured in a few magazines for my curriculums. So, but I read a lot. Sometimes I read just more so online.
Yeah.
I read, like I Google something and I'll read.
Yeah.
But I'm forever reading, because I want to recycle, the information. And I don't want to live the same experience twice.
Yes.
So I'm reading in order to put in new information, so that my brain is rewired with new synopsis that will give me a new experience. Because I'm determined I'm not going to live the same day twice.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading material all the time.
It's awesome.
I'm an avid reading.
We call it the continuous learning mindset. And,
Yes.
There's a great book that I'm in the middle of reading. I've read 2 very recently, Unlimited, Jim Quick. And he's helped me with speed reading, because I'm dyslexic by nature, grew up dyslexic, so I was always in the slower class of reading. But he has given me a perspective of speed reading, which I'm reading so fast and comprehending it. So I wanted to get back to one thing, that the idea that a business owner has to continue to grow is what I'm hearing you say. And do you have a certain habit or routine that you have that has been working for you, like getting up at a certain time or going to bed at a certain time, or anything, any habits that you could pass on to our viewers?
Yes, that's a great question. I do believe that as a business owner, but as a human being, that you are supposed to be growing. And anything that's not growing, stagnated. And we know there's no life in stagnation. And so growth is a part of the life cycle. And once you stop growing, it's like, like something says that when growth has been stunted, then it's just like you're stunted. There's a limited mobility, your language, all of that. So things that I practice every day, I get up very early in the morning, sometimes between 3 and 6, I'm awake. And I practice mindfulness. I practice breathing techniques. And sometimes I do some journaling, because I have some things that I like to journal down. But for the most part, I just practice just self-reflection and, affirmations and putting into the atmosphere what I want to see for my day. And I just don't believe that we're supposed to just let life happen to us. We're going to make life happen for us. So I make my life happen by the intentions that I set. But I think it starts for me long before I awake. Before I go to sleep at night, at least 2 hours, I try to turn my television off because I don't want the noise. And I think about how I want my day to be before getting up. And I set intentions the night before the day.
I will say without a shadow of a doubt, you're the most impressive person I've had as a guest.
Oh, wow.
That's speaking things that our guests don't usually speak. I mean, I get up at 4 and I don't use an alarm, and I have a routine. And my routine is your meditation, self-awareness. You said something I think our viewers would really appreciate: cutting down the noise at the evening and allowing your mind to get ready for sleep. And I think a lot of us, because of our phone, our TV, and all the extra noise, we don't realize what it does to our brain. And if you go to sleep after you've been on your phone and watch, it's there in the brain. So how can you sleep soundfully if you've got all that noise happening in your brain? So there's already about 3 more podcasts that I'd like to bring you back and have just a focus. So I appreciate you really sharing these insights. And I have a couple more that I want to ask you, then I'm going to let you. I know you have a busy day, so we're going to let you go. You can't be talking all day. You have to be, you have clients to take care of. So what's something you would want our viewers to know, that just like in a simple sense, like Angela is blank?
Wow. Well, Angela is self-aware.
Wow. I love it. We're going to put that in the show notes under a quote. I love that. Okay. So as we wrap up, I always ask our guests if they know of one person like yourself that has the business savviness and the understanding, because our viewers always like good guests, because that's what we try to bring them. And it can be local, because this is Kennesaw Happenings, which is what's happening in Kennesaw. We have a focus on honoring seniors. So we always look to bring people that love our seniors, that respect our seniors, that listen to our seniors. Anybody that you can think of that you might be able to recommend to us?
I'm actually new to the area.
Oh, okay.
3 years, so I don't really know a lot of people.
Okay.
Here, so I'm still learning.
Okay.
So
that's fine. Hey, look, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Because, man, new to the area, oh my gosh, this is crazy good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to really provide something special for Sarita, because she introduced this man. And this is a shout out for Sarita. When I moved here, the first day, she was like the first one that just greeted me and made me feel like I made the right decision. Because just like yourself, I went through a divorce, and you're starting a new life, and you're trying to figure out all this stuff. And so it's not easy unless you have people that come alongside and make you feel welcome. Absolutely. So that's really good. So let's leave our what can you leave, parting thought that you could leave our listeners with? I always want to give our guests that platform. What can you tell? What could you tell?
Well, I would tell the listening audience that in a world of copycats, because there's so many. Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Show up in this world as yourself. And be mindful of who you are. Everybody's unique. Everybody is their own individual person.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a population of 8+ billion people in this world, and 95% of those people are not self-aware. Spend time learning who you are. Get to know you. It's okay to sit and be quiet. Cut the noise out and just really focus in on who you are and the best version of yourself. Present that to the world. We're here to bend reality. I honestly believe that means to take from the invisible world and to create things and give it to someone as a service. Find what you're supposed to be doing here. But you first have to find yourself and discover who you are. Then you can help someone else change or transform their life, connect with someone else on their journey, and together you can help them go further in life.
Wow. I tell you what, I'm blown away, quite frankly. Now, we're going to put, I usually ask, how can people get a hold of you? We'll put in the show notes the links to your salon and to ways, maybe you have social platforms or whatever you have, that we can help people to get a hold of you. And then if anybody wants to be coaching, we'll put your coaching link. We'll put something down there, because I can see business owners, you need Angela. I can tell by just talking to her for the first time, the depth of your understanding of business and self is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast, Kennesaw Happenings, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.